What is up, boys? It's your boy 12-inch back here with another video. This one is not going to be too complicated. I'm keeping it a buck with y'all. This is going to be over the new civs and the new commanders: Pericles, Pyrrhus, QB, Justinian I, yada yada yada. We're just going to go through it real quick, especially the newer commanders. You know, you really don't have to think about it too hard. Give it a complete stack with y'all, $1 entire dollar. If you guys are thinking about swapping to Greece, 99% of you guys should not swap to Greece. And the other 1% of you guys that are considering doing it already know if you should or not. This is a rally garrison type of civ. If you are a rally, you should probably consider it in some specific situations. If you only do rally, if you're in the top kingdoms, maybe. But if you're gonna do this, you don't need to ask me about it. You're gonna do this, you already know. Not only do you already know, but you have known. Do not touch this shit with the 10-foot pole. Again, boys, I try to tell y'all over and over and over again, you're not an infantry main, you're not a cavalry main, you're not an archer main. You just play the meta, right? Greece is an infantry main civ. And infantry, this is gonna shock y'all, infantry is not the meta, okay? Infantry is not what's up. Now, early game, infantry is pretty good, but even if you're early game, there's not a huge reason to be running Greece, right? If you really wanted a good infantry civ early game, you could just get away with France, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with France. Past VIP 15, even when they get that increased healing speed that diminishes the value of this, people still be running this shit all the time. There's not a single reason for any of you guys to be running Greece. It is just not the schmove. Just don't do it. Next thing that we're gonna talk about is going to be Pericles. He's not bad, okay? He's not really that awful. I don't hate him. He has a support tree, which is pretty cool. I'm just not a huge fan. So over here, he's got a fat shield for 700, and he's got a march speed bonus, which is okay, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't give you any kind of offensive capability, and the offensive capability is going to be really, really important to how you function in the open field. The second skill here is going to be rocking a solid 20% stats. This is kind of exactly what you'd expect out of an epic commander. So, I mean, not really great, but not really horrible, right? The third skill, this is ass, right? We're not really gonna look at this one too hard. And the fourth skill over here is going to be another kind of like tanky-ish skill. And then your expertise skill is gonna be 300 damage factor on your shield and healing increase. I'm gonna be very, very, very candid and very honest, because I love all of you guys when I tell you that this guy he just doesn't do anything. Like, it's not that he's good, it's not that he's bad, he just doesn't do much of anything. And when you're in the open field, especially early game, you're looking to do damage, right? You're looking to bring the hammer down. A lot of people like to compare this guy to, ironically, another hammer, Charles Martel. And Pericles just does not have it like that, okay? He is not like baby Charles. He's not making it work in any way, shape, or form. And the reason why is because Charles Martel gives you a 30% damage bonus, right? So you're never running like Pericles Sun Tzu. You're never running Pericles YSG. It just doesn't make any sense, right? There's no damage bonus there. They don't have a whole lot of synergy. He's meant to be a punching bag, and that's kind of crazy to do. Again, like, the stats are similar, right? They do have a similar like stat increase, but not the type of stat increase that I'm like particularly, you know, enthused for. I'm not like excited when I see Pericles giving me 20% stats. And Pericles' last skill that's slightly tanky is okay, right? But something like increased counterattack damage is gonna be really good. Something very offensive is generally what you're looking for. If you are on the open field and you're getting swarmed, you're kind of screwed. Like, that's just generally not what you're looking for. And another thing is you're never really looking to garrison your city if you're like a free-to-play or low spender, if you're still using epics, right? If you're wondering, if you're asking the question, like,
what should be my city garrison?
Your best garrison is going to be a peace shield. Straight up. Like, this is not going to be able to help you. This is not going to mend any bridges. This is not going to stop you from burning. If somebody wants to burn your ass and you're 15 mil power, best believe your city's going to burn with or without Pericles. You could have Cleo on the wall and it wouldn't matter because they'd still dumpster your ass. So, long story short, not really good. Don't invest in him. At the end of the day, the best epic infantry pairing is still going to be Bjorn Sun Tzu for new players. Don't touch Pericles, not worth it. Don't touch Aggressive, not worth it. Next, we're going to be looking at the new commander that came out that is a legendary, Pyrrhus. He's okay. He's not great, right? I'm not like jumping up and down for him. I would say if you're a low spender or if you're free to play, you should probably stay the fuck away from this guy. If you're a mid spender, I'd probably also stay away from this guy. The only situation where I would consider using him is if you are a whale. So some whales in the past have used a march called Martel Richard with full legendary gear, and I like to call it a bowling ball march, because you take that march, you throw it straight into your opponents, and they all die because they just attack it and they lose everything. Pyrrhus is really cool because he gives you 20% normal attack bonus, which also counts to counterattack, which is huge. 20% is quite large. He also has a skill damage reduction, which is really nice, and he also has another normal attack damage bonus. So I mean, just just throwing him out of your city repeatedly, if you have an expertise Martel and an expertise Pyrrhus, could probably lead to getting billions of kill points if you're a Mega Whale. If you're not a Mega Whale, I wouldn't touch him. Is he a shiny looking commander? Yes. Is he an interesting looking commander? Yes. Does he have good synergy with Martel? Yes, yes, yes. But would he ever take the place of, say, a commander like YSG? No. Right? You should never be, if you're not a absolute Mega Kraken, you should probably not be investing in Martel. You definitely shouldn't be investing in Pyrrhus. If you invest in anything, it should be YSG, and even then, YSG is even a question, right? Is Pyrrhus cool? Yeah, he's a cool commander. I'm kind of glad they released him, but he's really only cool for whales. If you have a really contested KVK1, then you can consider whipping him out. But if it's not a contested KVK1, kind of toss him to the curb. Now, boys, for what you came here to see, the vast majority of my audience is looking for an idea on what we're thinking about QB. Or Huo QuBing. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I call him QB for short. Let's see what we got here. I have already seen this. I already have kind of like built my own point of view on it, but we're gonna look at it again anyway. So his primary ability is going to be so his active ability is going to be General of Agile Cavalry. Dealing direct damage to a target troop of 2,700 is absolutely massive, and slowing for 50% is gargantuan. I absolutely love this guy. This guy is essentially going to be a replacement for XY. Previously, especially during my commander tier list, I said that I don't suggest that people invest in XY. Some people were wondering, why would he say that? The reason why I say that is right now in 5 marches, you're generally looking for 2 cavalry marches. Those 2 cavalry marches being Nevsky Joan and XY William. When this commander comes out, the 2 best cavalry marches will now be Nevsky Joan and QB William. So if you want to run those 2, here's this guy's an XY replacement, you're going to want to replace XY. One of the reasons why XY is getting replaced is because XY has a defense debuff of 30%. Now this is really, really exceptionally strong. The only issue with XY's defense debuff is we already have Nevsky giving a 45% debuff. XY's defense debuff is not why anybody runs him. They run him because he's going to machine gun out skills, and they run him because he's going to do a lot of damage. New commander comes out that does a lot of damage, but does not have the same redundant defense debuff. People are going to run it instead. Makes total sense, and it is a great reason to replace him. XY is still strong. XY still has multi-target abilities. Like, if you already have XY, I'm not saying just throw him to the garbage. You know, there's probably another place to put him, especially if you already have Minamoto. There's a good chance you could just go like Nevsky Mina, XY William, and QB Joan. Right? Like those are all marches you could run, or you could run like XY Joan or something like that. Or maybe you could run QB Mina, you could run Nevsky Joan, and then XY William, right? If you're running 3 cavalry marches, there still is a place for William. It's just a little difficult to try and run him in the same way that you used to. I would say if you already have him, yes, you could fit him in marches. If you don't already have him, this guy replaces him. If I were to invest into somebody off rip as soon as I got into Season of Conquest, I would probably still invest in a Nevsky, because although 2,700 damage factor is awesome, even though the march speed reduction is awesome, the attack is awesome, the march speed is awesome, it just doesn't give you a 45% defense reduction. Right now, the transition to Season of Conquest, you still have like the 3 kings, right? You've still got Scipio with his 30% health reduction. You got Nevsky with his 45% defense reduction. You got Boudica with her 35% skill damage taken increased debuff. Those 3 commanders work so well in tandem with each other, it is hard to find a dimension where you'd want to replace one of them. Nevsky is probably still the undisputed king of cavalry right now. QB is a very, very close second. I also don't know if he would be a better budget option than a 5-1-1-5 Joan, but I think that's a debatable thing, right? Like picking one or the other. I like Joan because she's AoE and she does an absolute shitload of damage, and she only costs 190 sculptures if you can get her last skill to 5. If you can't get her last skill to 5, then 5-5-5-1 QB is probably a very decent choice. If you already have Minamoto, then I would just go for Nevsky Mina and focus on other stuff, but it's an excellent choice. Over here we have Dragon of the Desert. If this commander's troop has not been garrisoned in a building for at least 30 seconds, every time the troop enters combat, it will gain the following buff for the first 15 seconds of battle. It deals 30% more skill damage, active skills cost 150 rage less to use. After 15 seconds, the troop will deal 10% normal attack damage. What does that mean? This commander is really good, but it means that it cannot cheeseburger. For a lot of older players that are not going to care as much about cheeseburgering because they fight in a murder balls, you know, I guess like me at this point, that's really good. If this guy is the first march that you buy as soon as you enter Season of Conquest, generally players with 1 march are going to cheeseburger a lot. Okay, this entire skill is completely gone if you're popping out your city or your flag repeatedly. So I'd be completely completely aware of what you're doing every single time you drop him like that. Dragging the Desert is an absolutely spectacular skill. I would definitely go out of my way to make sure this is used, but again, this is something that's going to be used if you have like 3 or 4 marches, right? As your 4th march, this is awesome because you have a bunch of other marches that can help cover him. As your 1st march, right, you're playing a lot more carefully with it. His 4th skill is going to be Battlefield Appropriations. When attacking an enemy troop, cavalry units led by this commander gain 30% increased defense, and their troops deal 20% more skill damage. Whenever their troop defeats an enemy troop, some of it's slightly, okay, healing, blah, 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 blah. Point is, 30% increased defense when attacking something and 20% more skill damage is awesome. Awesome skills. Again, not super glass cannon-y. We love to see it. He just does a lot of damage. He fires a lot of abilities. It's all single target, but it's not really a big issue. The fact that you can just run him on the field and he will do very well for you is awesome. It's just, again, he doesn't have any debuffs, and the debuffs are going to be a really big part of your 5 march once you get to Season of Conquest, especially compared to like the other prime commanders. Because even Zhu Liang has a debuff to your opponents, and that debuff is going to be really important. It's one of the reasons why you could not have a 5 march without this guy, is because this skill is huge, right? All targets dealing 15% less damage is absolutely monumental, right? Just being able to just be like, boom, 5 of you are going to deal less is kind of disgusting on the core. And it's not something that, you know, QB has. And again, QB does good damage, and we love that for him. He just doesn't do the same things that everybody else does. So here is his expertise, which is just a buff on Battlefield Appropriations, it looks like. It's not bad, but this is not that good. So getting 5% more skill damage and 5% defense is nice. The healing factor doesn't matter, but Autumn Wind is kind of concerning. Resetting buffs and debuffs is not a good thing. Resetting the amount of time it's been in combat is good for Dragon of the Desert, but it resets your rage. We're gonna have to see how this commander comes out, because this could be bad, actually. Resetting your rage. So when you're in the open field and you're attacking multiple marches, something you want to do is you never want to just kill the march in front of you, because you want to start attacking other marches once the march in front of you gets really red, because that march will no longer be able to do a lot of damage. It will have to walk home, sadly, and you'll reset your rage if you kill something. So generally, when you're attacking things on the open field, as soon as something gets too injured, you'll turn to the next target and you'll do something called rage loading. So all of the attacks on the first guy, you didn't fire your abilities on him, and then all your rage bars goes up, and then you turn to the next guy and you fire all the rage bars on them. But what this looks like is, if this guy has anything to do with killing one of those troops, it's going to reset the rage on him, which there are certain cases where you wouldn't have your rage reset, like if somebody was AoEing you. That's really weird. I know what they're trying to go for this. There might be like some kind of like design limitations, but this is something where I would wait for the commander to come out to see what people do with the expertises, because this expertise seems questionable, I guess. Resetting rage is really bad, like really bad. And then clearing your buffs is also a little rough. It's not horrible. Like, resetting buffs is not bad, because there are obviously gonna be more debuffs out there than there are buffs. I just don't know how often you're going to be not only defeating things and not running away after you defeat it, and want your debuffs cleared, while also wanting your rage cleared, right? Because if you defeat something, you want your attack to be able to hit the next guy immediately. I'd be a little skeptical of how worth the 10% stats are here to resetting your rage every time you kill something. So still, I think he's going to be like, you know, for your second march, you're going to want to run, you know, probably Nevsky Joan, probably QB William. I think it's still excellent. I think he's a slam dunk invest. I just don't think he's like one of your top 3 invests. I don't think you're investing in him as fast as you're investing in like maybe ZL. You know, because if you have Boudica already, or if you have YSG already, you're going Boudica YSG. You're going probably something like Scipio Ethelfled, and then you're probably going something like Nevsky Mina, or like Nevsky 5115 Joan, or something like that. Going for Nevsky QB, I don't think is a bad choice, or I guess it'd be QB Nevsky. I don't think it's a bad choice. It's just Nevsky has much less synergy with QB than he has with like Joan of Arc, for example. So you'd want QB as a second string cap march. Over here is Justinian. I originally wasn't even going to cover him just because he's rally garrison. If this commander is the leader of a rally attack, the target's defense is reduced by 30%. If the target is surrounded, 3 surrounding troops. All right, blah, 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 blah. I can't bring myself together. Okay, if you are not a rally garrison in like one of the top kingdoms, or like if you're not spending like $2,000 on Crystal Tech every KVK, or you don't have like talented Helm of the Khan and like talented Sacred Dominion, and you're not, you know, you're not this, you're not that. Okay, look, if you're a rally, you already know who the fuck you are. If you are not a rally, just skip him, bro. Just do yourself a favor. Just skip this guy. I'm not even gonna read his skills, because honestly, I can't care. Okay, I literally cannot. if you're an open fielder, like 99% of you watching this video should be, the same amount of people that should be considered rally captains that watch my videos are probably around the same percentage of women that watch my videos, which is to say 0% of y'all. Just going out of my way to say that if you're looking at this commander and you're like, should I be investing in this guy? The answer is no. Fuck no. Stay the fuck away from him. Okay? Do yourself a favor. Okay? It's just like those of you who are asking about like Zenith. Okay? Y'all saw me rant on my last Zenith video. Just don't do it. Do yourself a favor. With that being said, boys, that's my thoughts on the most recent commanders. Pyrrhus, Pericles, QB, the J guy. Ugh, who even is he? If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you drop a like, consider subscribing, hit that notification bell, and all that good stuff. If you guys want to get notifications when I go live, make sure you join the Discord in the description below. Make sure you go to the role selection tab and turn on announcement and stream notifications. If you guys want coaching, I do coaching for 35 bucks a session on stream and 50 bucks a session off stream. If you guys are interested in that type of thing, just DM me on Discord. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel financially, all donations right now are going to upgrading my PC and getting to a second channel. So if you guys are interested in doing that type of thing, you can make all types of donations to the Streamlabs link in the description below. That is the #1 way to help the channel out if you guys are interested in that. Other than that, guys, have yourselves an absolutely wonderful day. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye.